Okay, for our healthy coat training tip today, this is the fourth part of our four-part series on halter breaking your horse. And what I'm going to do today is demonstrate how I tie one up after I've went through that process of the prior three steps of moving your horse's feet forward and back, side to side, and then when you catch your horse, get your horse moving, change directions with them, and get them using that thinking side of their brain before we ever come up to this point where we tie them up. Because here's what happens. You know, horses only have two thought processes. They're either thinking or reacting. Okay, and so our job as trainers, and anybody who handles a horse is a trainer, is you need to help that horse be in the habit of using that thinking side of their brain. So that's why we do all these things prior to tying this horse up. Now, once I'm to this point where this horse is ready to be tied up and learn to stand quiet while it's tied, a couple things that I think are super important is, number one, tie them in a safe place. I always like to tie a horse to something they're familiar with, like a panel, okay? Now, the only problem with that is some panels aren't very strong. So just like right here, you know, this panel is attached to a post. So if I run my rope around the back of that panel and then tie that horse right here like this, that has a lot of support, okay? They're not going to bend the panel, they're not going to pull the post over, because I've seen a lot of times where people tie their horses up in an unsafe place and the horse pulls back. Pretty soon you got 2 or 3 horses pulling a panel around an arena or something like that. Now, something else too is the way I like to tie them. I want to tie them somewhere similar to the same level that this lead rope is, because this is how I lead them around. So when I tie a horse up, I want that lead rope to be in a similar spot, okay? And then I put those 2 half hitches going backwards. And you can back that up and watch how I tie that. Okay, when I tie one up, I'm only going to have them on 1 foot or 1.5 foot of rope. And the reason is, the more slack you have in that rope, the more chance they have to get a run at themselves pulling back. And then if they do pull back and lunge forward, they have a chance of getting their leg over that rope and getting in a real wreck. Okay? Now, obviously, some people's horses, you know, we have lots and lots of young green horses around here, and so it's a big issue at our place, and it's very important that we watch what we're doing when we're tying one up. Now, if you're just tying a horse around a post, same thing. Go around this post, and then I'll tie a bowling knot, which is, I'll just go real slow so you can back it up and watch. Go through, under, over, and then back up through, okay? These 2 ropes are going to come out the same loop. The good thing about a bowling knot, they can pull back on that as hard as they want, but when you're done, you can untie it real easy. The dangerous thing about a bowling knot is this right here, okay? If at any time you get your fingers in that loop and that horse pulls back, I've seen a guy get his thumb popped off with that knot. So that's kind of, in that respect, I don't use that knot a lot with colts. I do with some of my older horses, depending on what I'm tying to. But this is what I like right here. I like to go around a post and behind the panel, up around the bar. Always, when you're tying a horse up, never, never, never get your hand in those loops, okay? Then you can put another half hitch on there if you want. If your horse pulls back, that'll come untied real easy. And it doesn't cut your rope because you're going around a round object like this, so it doesn't cut your rope or fray your rope and make that rope weak. All right, that's the last of our 4-part series on halter breaking. That's our healthy coat tip of the week. I'll see you next time.